Silksong has to be the most anticipated game of all time, and a few days back there was a premiere for a special announcement. After waiting for almost 48 hours straight in the premiere, sitting on my bed with my laptop on, I got to see the Silksong reveal trailer.
Whoa, finally. Wait, that's it?
No, in fact, that's not just it. There was actually a lot to unpack here, and although Silksong is coming out on September 4th, and some others more qualified than me have already done a better job at analyzing it, I'm still making this video, because I need to embrace my Silk sanity. In all honesty though, I am still filled with excitement from this news, so I thought why not channel all of this excitement that I have right now into this very goofy idea. I will be looking at every single frame in the trailer. Rather than bore you with the entire process, I took notes of my observations, and will be showing you some of the most interesting stuff I've found from those notes. I'm still a new creator, so forgive my mistakes. Feel free to like the video anytime if you enjoyed it. It lets me know my efforts were not in vain. This is an analysis of almost every frame in the trailer. The trailer starts off with a line of silk traversing the screen, followed by another, and then two more, with three more consecutively showing up after which another barrage of 5 silk strings attack the screen, a grand total of 12 silk strings. You can come up with your own conspiracy theory regarding this. This reveals the Team Cherry logo and an area that we are already familiar with through previous sneak peeks and reveals, the Moss Grotto. This opening area is quite vibrant with a lush green color. We see our first two enemy types here, a flying enemy and a walking spiky caterpillar grub thing. Lots of green, lots of nice. Keep this bony platform in mind, because we're going to be seeing this again later. Moving on, we see Hornet walking through what appears to be a gate or entrance. I personally think it's gonna be something akin to the first game start, only this time it's the complete opposite thematically. While Hornet walks, we see a bunch of tiny grass creature things flying away, quite similar to how birds behave. We will observe things of a similar nature where there is a sort of ecosystem in the world. Our attention is averted towards a scene depicting a sort of village area with a bench, and this tiny dude looking closely at the lamp, which seemingly contains fireflies. Close by there seem to be husks of a similar species. Hopefully they're just asleep. This place slightly reminds me of Dirtmouth, except it's not as dead. We see one bug thing here smashing a rock at the ground for some reason too. We have only 5 masks in both of these stages of the game, suggesting that it is a very early level, possibly the first, or one of the first. We also have a broken spool holder in both. In this scene, Hornet is roaming a dark and damp place. This round little bug sitting on the docks appears to be a fisherman of some sort, just gazing off into the shore. As Hornet splashes into the water, we can see that there isn't lots of depth to this body of water. Walking to the right reveals the subscribe button. Just kidding, we see this bug, and it attacks in a sliding manner. This creature reminds me of this real life bug. Just as the attack is over, the NPC bug jumps up high for some reason. Here Hornet has 6 masks, and our spool holder is now normal and contains some silk. Make of that what you will. As Hornet jumps into the next scene, we seem to be in an underground area of sorts. Seems like a town. There appear to be these cute little flea creatures. They seem to howl as Hornet reaches the inner parts of the town. There is a bench that has a pretty unique design. We also see a sinister looking NPC, which as the YouTuber Stizzle called it in his video, feels like Patches of sorts. Patches is a character from Dark Souls that earns your trust and then betrays you later on. We get our first text title card here. Ascend to the peak of a haunted kingdom. I find this as another interesting contrast against the first game. In the first game, we sort of descend, while here, there is an emphasis on ascension. I feel like this specific area is somewhere around the Bone Bottom region, probably the Marrow, given the nature of the environment. We see a thorny enemy with 3 thorns and fast wings, so I'm guessing it's gonna be annoying to deal with considering its speed. This bony bug here patrolling its grounds looks like a spider that is inhabiting another unfortunate bug's skull. The platforms are super cool with these spine ribcage things, similar to what we saw before. Quite the architects here to be able to set those up. We cut to a contraption here that is a moving platform over hot lava. Since there are enemies here, there could be a hidden treasure or area to be found by hooking onto these enemies. Next up is this rainy region. A random thought, but it would be crazy if we have a dynamic weather system here. We see a bird creature fly away. I'm considering it a bird given that it has wings and what looks like a beak. And we see some more in the distance. It feels like a graveyard of sorts. As Hornet walks past this bell, it sits up for some reason. Let me know why you think this might be. Here we see our first instance of a whirlwind thing. This is like the fast transportation of some variety. Either that or a way to boost momentum. Or maybe both. An enemy gets alerted on the way up, and it looks like a fat Q thing from All Tomorrows. We see a void-looking creature, probably a spider of sorts again. It has got leaves on top of its head, likely for camouflage. We also see some moth-bird hybrid as a part of the natural habitat. Lots of attention to detail here, not gonna lie. This area has a mix of lava and fire, some greenery and some coral reef structures in the background. These magma block looking things suggest this is underwater. The musical bell hub is shown next, at least that's what I think it is. The hub has the quest board, a banker perhaps, the same NPC we have seen in the Dark Docks place, and at the center of the hub, there appears to be a sort of bell. To me, it kinda resembles the clef symbol from musical notation. Checks out, consider the name of the game is literally Silksong. Walking to the right, a bell NPC stands proud and then proceeds to dance, in which we can hear some bell jingle sounds. We also see a hut with the symbol on it. We see an interaction between Hornet and the blacksmith tinkerer character, with quite a creative design. Lots of bells here in this game, I can't lie. What is more interesting is what he is offering though. Also notice how the currency is much more sophisticated compared to the first game, and there appears to be a sort of raw material required to make items at this bell tinkerer NPC. We see our first item here, which is a sting shard. The description reads, "A vicious stabbing trap? We can build it. Just know, it disturbs us. These devious implements you conceive to kill." The magma bell? The description reads, "This trinket is our own invention. It wards against the deadly lava and heat around these docks. The workers used to request them of us. Now they've lost the mind to care." Based off of that description, we seem to be around in some docks, and there happens to be a continuation of the theme of bugs losing their minds. This charm protects you from the lava or heat. Finally, the crafting kit. The description reads, "Crafting by claw alone produces inferior results. With this kit, you can craft finer, sharper, and deadlier tools, if that is your wish." The bag is a crafting kit, which must open more advanced options for crafting. Moving on, we see Hornet sitting under a giant bell, opening up a map. And whoa, there's a lot to take in here. We have the following areas exposed to us: the Deep Docks, Far Fields, Hunter's March, Bellhart, Greymoor, Shellwood, the Marrow, Bone Bottom. Not sure what these silver discs are, but all in all, there are many similarities to the designs in the first game. We get our next title card, Lethal Acrobatic Action. A mole or fish thing spurts out goo from its mouth, and Hornet sprints ahead. Notice I said sprint. She moves at a faster speed than the knight. We have 5 masks here, and a spool, so I imagine this is near the end of the early game. This next scene here had me really excited. At first, I was like, are these seahorses? They seemed to be going all in on the aquatic life, and I'm all for it. But you can see the legs here, and they seem to be kicking back with their legs. After a quick Google search, these might be some sort of beetle. Judging by the number of masks, an astounding 7, this might be mid-game content. This pool is much bigger now, and your guess is as good as mine for the other 2 things. Feel free to let me know what you think in the comments. Also, this diagonal jump maneuver is sick. We have seen this next clip before in the 6 seconds that were revealed earlier this year. I'll go over it briefly since there isn't anything different or new. It appears to be a snowy biome, or one with white flora. We see Hornet maneuver using her needle and attack this innocent floating enemy. This needle maneuvering reminds me of how the messenger moves around in the game The Messenger. The heart seems to be a little different, with 9 masks that have a metallic overtone. We can also see this cogwheel fill up as Hornet attacks an enemy. This next enemy has me excited too. The red fire ants, from what I can tell, is a really nice choice considering the themes of fire and lava we have been seeing consistently so far. Ants are known to be smart, and from this clip alone it feels as though they are highly acrobatic. Ants can also lift up a much heavier weight than their own body, so perhaps we will see something related to that. There are 6 masks in this scene. Something I imagine is related to magma/lava, and I believe a spike trap that can be set down. Lava is rising here, and there is only one way to go, and that is up. The walls around are shaking too, suggesting that the damage is irreversible. This might lock you out of a specific area. We have 7 masks here, and a strange symbol or glyph. The spool seems to be in an overdrive state. The first thing that caught my attention here was that Hornet is more vocal in combat, at least more than the knight. This looks like a boss fight between Hornet and 2 other characters. Or maybe this guy is here to assist Hornet? Like how Solaire does in Dark Souls. Might be early game content considering the masks. If it is, then I'm also assuming that these throwing knives are early game tools that can be crafted. We got a champion Gundyr look enemy over here, and man, what a cool design. So far this has been my favorite one. The bell weapon and the mask with tears, could just be long eyelashes too, are really cool. Also, I want to direct your attention to this new mask symbol. What could it mean? My theory is that it's a shield on your normal health. We have these spiky traps too. We have a short cutscene of Hornet patiently waiting for a door to open. Now, stay with me here. Notice the floor color scheme? Now look at this. They seem like the same place. I'm going to go over my predictions in a separate video, but it seems to me like this would be a royal, more civilized area of the world, judging off of the enemy design. Reminds me of the City of Tears, except with an even more royal spin on it, especially with these golden chandeliers. I like this big guy. There's a walking knight variant and a flying variant. Next up is the stinky fungus zone, where it feels like every bug has a nasty flu. Exploding goo at Hornet. She uses a green blob here as a sort of hook, cleaning it on the way as well. We have 9 masks here, and this time we see her equipping 4 of these tool things. We see the wings in action for the first time, and they look really majestic, especially in comparison to the first game. These 3 enemies I feel are going to try and synergize among themselves to attack the player. I think the AI is going to be much smarter here, and ignore the fact that Hornet just smacks them in the face right at the start. Also, the cog that we saw before is now not a cog, but a harp, or metal bars of some sort. Now, this specific whirlwind is quite interesting, mostly because it doesn't look like one. It looks more like silk. My brain just keeps making the connection with the Hollow Knight trailer, where you have a crystal thing where you can laterally traverse really fast. Here, I believe we have a similar thing going on, but instead of lateral traversal, it's vertical traversal. Either that, or it's just another whirlwind thing. We have some sort of fruit thing here, and another unique glyph. These creatures in particular are quite peculiar. They look like fish swimming in packs. Another pack over here, and another one. This next title card says we're getting 200 foes, but knowing Team Cherry, I'm sure there are gonna be more. This enemy looks similar to the fleas, but it's bigger. Has a ball of chain on its hand and a spiky head crown thing, which we might be able to hit our needle off of to bounce on. We're getting Mantis Lords 2.0, possibly a mid to late game fight. We have another look at these cool royal dudes again. Honestly, they might possibly be a cult. This seems like more of a gank boss fight or a staged combat encounter. We see Hornet do a cool pierce attack here, and she also has this pierce looking glyph equipped, so I'm starting to see a slight connection here. New abilities might possibly be equipped in this way, but only time will tell. Another royal Mantis Lords looking fight, but this one has this really cool light gimmick. I'm not really sure what it does though. This looks like either a healing item or an explosive, like a Green Goblin style explosive. A spider fight, possibly an imposter spider. Also, whoa, look at Hornet here. This floating mechanic right here looks super cool. This inhaling stinky frog thing, which is crazy. This Romeo boss fight looks super fun and colorful. I think it could be early game, judging off of the number of masks. I'm not sure if that's a flower or a saw of some sort. This fight just looks like plain fun. Reminds me of Grim Troop, but less cryptic, if that makes any sense. Nightmare Grim was no fun though. This drill boss fight, which reminds me of Jellyfish, and also Mole Knight from the hit indie game Shovel Knight. This tree frog looking boss fight that spawns its own minions, and the giant belt monster, which we have seen before. Possibly a final boss? Wait, never mind, the masks indicate otherwise. Or do they? The next text says we restore a kingdom's hope. Restoring a kingdom's hope, I'm hoping, has a more optimistic ending. I can't help but feel like the first game had not the happiest ending, but it was still satisfying. This story, I believe, pivots towards a more heroic and hopeful tone. This looks like another hub area with more creatures. Apparently this chair is not settable, and the only other branch is occupied by this goober, so this might not be a hub after all. This character looks plain cool, and I think shares a common knitting hobby with Hornet. And no way, is that the shaman guy from Hollow Knight 1? We got our Silkworm fast travel cutscene, a short cutscene of Hornet going through her training arc, and this right here was the highlight of the entire trailer. This snail or slug looking thing trying to kiss Hornet. And I thought she hit it with her needle, but it was just a slap. And we get to see more of the lace fight. Judging off of the masks once again, this is not a final boss or anywhere near the ending. We seem to get off here through a drop-down elevator. And here is the title card, followed by the release date. Just a brief comment, I wonder if the Hunter has a major role to play in this game with its placement in the title. The hints at the void or abyss is an interesting touch too in the release date screen. That was the entire release trailer. But wait, there is more. A new PlayStation trailer came out with some extra scenes. First off, we see this character, which apparently is the conifer of this game. Maybe we have to fight her for a section of the map, or we fight her only once in the start, and after that we brandish our weapon as a sign of respect. We will find out in a little bit more than a week anyway. Next up is this merchant, which I think is in this hut off the Bell Hub. This is another NPC, and I do not know what it does exactly, but Stizzle makes more sense of this, so you can check out his video. I'm sure I missed out a lot, but I got most of what I wanted to say packed into this video. I am still a new creator, so any support you show means a lot to me. I plan on making another video where I have a list of predictions I want to talk about. Subscribe to stay tuned.